Alright, hello everyone. Thank you for all of you tuning in to our We're Very Tired stream that I was really just gonna do because I wanted gotcha pulls, and then the real gotcha pull was the rug pull of they don't have no whatever they're called anymore. The gems.
Yeah, space.
So now you just get art, which is good.
I'm sure you want that.
The background stream, that's what's going on. We're both going to sound like complete messes, and I'm going to sound extra like a mess because I've been editing...
I forgot there's honey in that.
That's fine. Because I've been editing voice lines for 12 plus hours a day, every day for the past week.
And words mean nothing.
My brain is broken.
Oh, this has like a little fisheye thing going on it. This camera.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, it looks pretty fun.
Oh yeah, let me send you the descriptions for these, Abby. Gotta be so careful about what words I say, even. This is for a root.
A root in a game.
You're going with the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Unknown enemy, thank you for the sub.
Oh, thank you. Oh no, my phone! That was almost an audio disaster.
I know all about audio disasters right now. I don't know how aware...
Hello,
Hype
everybody.
Train, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Unicorn Now, thank you for the Prime sub.
We are certainly crunching.
Phazon, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you to everyone who is currently or is going to contribute to the Hype Train. Yeah, we're crunching. I think that the unfortunate reality for us is that work expands to fill deadlines. Sun Sages, thank you so much for the Prime sub.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it's like if we gave ourselves more time, all we would do is we would add another animation here, another thing here. Broken Phantasm says, so question for you guys. You hired 2 voice actors for your game. If I wanted to do the same, how much did it cost you guys to hire them for the entire process? I don't want to disclose how much various people get paid. That feels like an invasion of privacy. But I will say that generally union rates for voice recording is something around $200 per hour of recording time.
Oh yeah, our release date is
October 20th.
Thanks, Dextrous. Also, hello. What was I was trying to Google reference. What was I doing? Okay.
Our deadlines are self-imposed. We don't have to worry about publishers, but that also means we are our own publishers.
Yeah, like we have deadlines in so much as we have a lot of things set up for making sure that we get it done at a certain time. So it's really about fulfilling those obligations and getting it to people that we've promised it to in time. Yeah. And of course for us, it's a scary game, so we have to get it out by Halloween.
So it's like, we picked October 20th because Steam's Halloween sale starts on October 26th, and then if generally a launch discount for a new game on Steam runs for a week, but you can run a discount for as long as 2 weeks, and you could essentially ask Valve to extend your launch discount if it would extend into an event. So we're timing it so that we get our maximum launch window before the big Halloween event. Ideally, we have a lot of momentum for sales going into that event, and then the discount carries through, so it's very concentrated. How do you all stay motivated with self-imposed deadlines? We like working on the game.
Yeah, we love finishing different components and seeing it come together. I think at the end of the day, that's really what motivates me, is knowing that eventually, when I finish part of it, I'll be able to show it to people. Even if that people is just Tony. Plus, I just like to work on stuff. Like, any second of the day that I am not spending working, I have some kind of thing going on, even if it's just really complicated dinner plans or something.
Yeah. And then prior to like the release of episode 4 of Scarlet Hollow, we don't have bosses, but we have financial pressures for those deadlines, where getting to the next goal is when revenue increases again. So part of it is just about continually being able to pay rent, to pay our contributors who work with us, like Brandon and Johnny and Nicole. And hold on, let me start. There's a lot of questions here, so yeah, let's see. What's the piano music playing in the background? This is the Stranger track from the Slay the Princess demo. Her entire route's gotten redesigned since then, including a different track. This is the old one. I'm just playing it off of Spotify. Let's see what else we got here. You excited to get back to Scarlet Hollow after this, or is it more like you don't have the space in your brain to think? No, we're all very excited to get back to Scarlet Hollow.
Yeah.
For many reasons. I miss the characters a lot. I miss working on... Scarlet Hollow is a very complicated game, but it's not as complicated a game as Slay the Princesses. And they're both horror games, but I think that Slay the Princess is genuinely quite a bit darker. And I'm tired of thinking about the extra dark things. Is there any spooky content y'all are looking forward to or have enjoyed recently? What was the name of that movie that we saw?
Oh, Talk to Me?
Talk to Me. I like Talk to Me.
Excellent. Sorry, I started this as a stone thing. It's not stone. My light! Chiropteryx, thank you for subbing. Sidjoip, thank you for the Prime sub. Sun Sages, thank you for the Prime sub. Arcadian, thank you so much for 40 months of sub. Wow, we've been doing this for a while. Oh, I feel ancient. Let's see what else we got here. I love to make a narrative game, but time, and knowing nothing about programming. But if it happens, you'll definitely be an influence. Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Look into learning RunPy. I think visual novels are a great format for narrative games. I think narrative games are often at their best when they're focusing entirely on the narrative, and... I was able to learn at least how to parse RunPy so that I can, like, work in the engine and write the first draft for Scarlet Hollow and edit Slay the Princess in there. So we don't have to, like, switch it into Google Docs and that sort of thing. And it's not terrible. Like...
Yeah, it's very learnable. And there's a lot of resources online. It comes with tutorials in it. And you can, like, take apart the sample game they give you when you install the engine to see how it works. It's a very quick learning experience. Question from the Discord. Someone like the horror anthology genre and vibes of Crossroads at Midnight, what are other books you'd recommend?
I would recommend anything by Junji Ito, of course. Like, I assume most people who like horror have probably read Junji Ito, but of course his work is very good. Besides that, honestly, old collections of old creepy or Bernie Wrightson comics, like stuff from the older days of horror comics, like they used to just release monthly horror anthologies. It's quite the mixed bag, but it's still fun. And besides that, I'm trying to think.
I'll do a plug for Johnny. He has a book, 13 Stories.
I suppose we were talking about...
It's just horror anthology. They said books you'd recommend.
Yeah,
that is a book And that's an anthology too.
Mhm.
We listened to it on audiobook
And it
this
was
summer. And it
great.
was very good. Have you learned anything in the process of making Slay the Princess that has helped or changed the way you're making Scarlet Hollow? Yeah, they kind of both cyclically feed into each other. We are constantly pushing our boundaries as creators with everything that we do. I think one of the most notable things is the animated paintings in episode 4 of Scarlet Hollow. Used the same shader that we got for the Slay the Princess background animations. Abby's been learning animation over time for both projects.
It's so exciting. I never thought I could do something like that. Like, it's definitely still a work in progress, learning how to do something like that. But every time I do it, it's better.
Yeah. And then there's the less interesting things. Lost for Light, thank you so much for the sub. There's other things too, like less exciting stuff in terms of getting better at organizing projects, developing just sort of a style of communication that works for our studio. Like, I think we've gotten continually better at being able to describe to Brandon what we want for various music tracks. His music has also just continually been getting so much better.
As if we thought it could even get better. And here he is blowing it out of the water with every new track. It's just amazing.
Wahoo!
Hi,
Good
Wahoo.
to see you. Thank you for gifting 5 subs. It's very
That
kind.
is so kind.
Sorry if this is common knowledge. I'm new to the community, but why the connection with North Carolina and Scarlet Hollow?
I'm from there.
Abby's from there.
I'm from North
He
Carolina.
likes setting things there.
Yeah.
I'm just from New Jersey, so that's kind of a I could be from anywhere sort of thing. A very culturally neutral place.
Except for the Jersey Shore, as they say. But that's not really your thing.
No, the shore is different from Central Jersey, which is just giant suburbs. Is there anything that has surprised you about the reception to your games, and how do you find the inspiration for all the different princess routes? Oh my
People
god.
have been so nice.
Yeah, people have been so nice.
Like, amazingly nice.
I think one of the nicest things with the Scarlet Hollow side of things has been just the long tail on the game as it is so far, and the strength of the community. I can't handle this track right now. Back to the beginning. But, you know, generally the way games work is, you know, you go into a game launch with a number of wish lists. And typically, like, you'll get a number of sales equal to 20% of your wish list by the end of the first day. That number again by the end of the first week. That number again by the end of the first month. That number again by the end of the first year. And it just peters out from there. And Scarlet Hollow sales have only really improved over time, which has been great. And
Shout out
we're
to Scarlet Hollow fans.
Yeah, extremely grateful to the fans for keeping things alive, and also for not being mad at us for working on a second project in the middle of it.
It's funding Scarlet Hollow.
This is funding, like,
It's funding
hopefully everything else we do for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, the last Halloween, whatever anthology I do next.
Dr. Rictus, thank you for the sub.
Thank
Eat Us
you.
Everywhere, thank you for gifting 5 subs. That's so
Thank
kind.
you.
How did we find inspiration for all the different princess routes? So the process for that started as just taking the basic scenario for the game and just figuring out, okay, what's the matrix of actions people would possibly take here? And what are the different endings within Chapter 1 that you would get from those actions? And then it became looking at those endings, thinking about, thematically, what does this ending say about you? And then kind of pulling on whatever primordial ooze of culture that we draw from to figure out, okay, so, like, what's going to represent this route? what's going to represent this one.
Yeah, and I think part of it also was we did come up with an initial list, like very early on, of what kind of princesses in general we wanted. So that helped too. Like we started with that, and then from there it was kind of a, okay, well we need to iterate on this again. Like
Right.
we need to have more princesses for more decisions, basically.
Yeah, and then there was a further split when we were going into the second version of the demo where we started really fleshing out the routes we had, and kind of ran into some walls where it felt like a lot of them were about too many things. There were too many different ways that you could get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So then that became splitting them further. So it's like in the first demo, you got the Fury just as sort of an ending to, you had a violent confrontation with her and you went down with a knife right away, and then it became, okay, no, but that's so vague, so let's instead do the adversary, which is about the fact that you killed each other, about the fact that there is a rivalry, there's an equality between you two there. There's the tower, which is about being thoroughly dominated. It also adds extra fun flavor to those buttons where you can just decide to die in the middle of fight.
Yeah, it gives you a reason to explore some of the options that you had before, of just like, and this still leads to the same route, was not very interesting or fun, and it didn't feel right either.
Yeah, and then you could also get the razor from that, because we had that whole thing where you could accidentally give her a knife by thinking that she has one, and then to just not make that a key part of her character, and just as like a one and done, felt like it wasn't honoring the decision that people made there, so then we had yet another princess. You played the game Tiny Bunny. I played it recently. It's so good. We played the first 2 episodes of Tiny Bunny.
Oh, are there more?
Yeah, there's like 2 more now. It's been on my list of, I want to get back to this.
Soon, when our deadline is done.
Yeah.
And we just need to sit on the couch for a little bit.
A whole order of things. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be the first one for me. And Tiny Bunny. There's like a lot of visual novels in there. Like there's Tiny Bunny. I want to finish Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. I want to pick up Goodbye Volcano High at some point. I do like how Scarlet Hollow is a visual novel with RPG elements. Never knew Ren'Py could do that. Ren'Py is a very powerful engine so long as you are making a visual novel, right? Like anything that doesn't come with it baked in, you can just code with Python. So the Parallax in Slay the Princess is Ren'Py. The Boyle effect with shaders is Ren'Py. All of the RPG elements in Scarlet Hollow, Ren'Py. The recaps, Ren'Py. The journal system, Ren'Py. A lot of people talking about Talk to Me.
Hell yeah.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Very good.
One person was like, how is Slay the Princess darker?
Oh, I missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Slay the Princess, I don't want to talk too much about what hasn't been seen yet, especially given that the release is around the corner. I think it's a lot more existentialist than Scarlet Hollow is. It's definitely more unrelenting. I mean, you'd agree with the assessment that it's darker, right?
Yes, I think so. I think I do agree with that. Like, it strips away a lot of the humanity of Scarlet Hollow, because there's, only 2 people.
Right.
And neither of them are necessarily, anyway. So, it just has the opportunity to deal with only the dark themes, and it certainly does. I mean, like, Tony was having nonstop existential crises throughout writing it, so
yeah,
that says something.
I don't know. That was like a bit of a cycle where it's like, I don't know to what extent the existential crises fed the writing versus the writing fed the existential crises is probably
nice,
a combo.
Yeah, nice little loop there.
Hammy says, question for Abby.
That's
when you
me.
draw scenes in perspective, do you visualize constructions like the horizon line or vanishing points to guide your drawing, or do you do it all by vibes?
It is all vibes.
I hate that.
It definitely means that it's like not perfect. But I think that is part of what makes it good. I think the part of what makes it feel just more, I don't know, fun is that it's not like strict or anything. Like sometimes I see people use just like really harsh perspective lines, and all you think about is how straight the lines are instead of like living in the environment. And I think that's pretty important. Being able to feel like you know where you are, you know, like you're in a place instead of in a constructed model of a place, because places don't feel perfect when you're in them, and they don't look perfect either. Things are always crooked, so I lean into the fact that things are going to be a little wrong, and it's great for it. That's my
Looking forward to any
opinion.
horror games to play in the spooky season. Yeah, have you heard of this game, Slay the Princess?
Ah, wow, I heard it's coming out October 20th.
Okay, let's see what's coming out. I'm probably going to play the full release version of World of Horror. I've already played through the early access one a few times. God, what other horror is coming out? Alan Wake 2 is dropping, but I never played Alan Wake 1. Maybe I'll get around to that. Add it to the big pile.
I know next year that one with like the old guy in it, the puzzle game with the old guy.
Oh, Post-Trauma.
Post-Trauma.
Yeah, that looks exciting.
I'm very excited for that one. That's one.
I like the demo a lot. Very creative.
Plus, it's puzzles. I love puzzles.
For what it's worth, I actually found Scarlet Hollow through Slay the Princess.
Yeah.
Yes,
hell
working
yeah.
as intended.
They feed each other.
So excited for the last Halloween to continue, but obviously I know the current projects are more important for the moment. Yeah, but
Thank
as
you
soon as
so
Scarlet
much.
Hollow is done, Abby is just finishing that series.
Yeah, and that's all I'll have to do. I'm so
Oh, Kel's
excited.
here. Kel says hi.
Oh my gosh, hi Kel, hello. It's good to see you in the chat.
Are there any princesses that you...
Oh, well, first, I'm so thrilled that people still care about the last Halloween. Like, oh man, it feels so bad that I've had to put it on a shelf for so long. It still lives in my head. And it needs to not live in my head. I want it to be in the world. Anyway.
Living as artists in the modern world means that we have to constantly account for the business side of things. And the last Halloween, I guess, was not paying as many bills as it needed to.
Especially, I mean, with inflation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a living wage, but not a comfortable living wage, and it was fluctuating.
It's
because,
hard. Yeah, it's hard to stop that from going down.
Yeah, and especially I also kept getting opportunities where I was just like, well, I can't turn down a book deal, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of a question of growing my career as well. So
Yeah, I mean,
but now I done growed it.
similar to why we started work on Slay the Princess, where it's like, obviously it's ideal to just do one big project until completion, but like the money was just the tail was slowly slipping over time for Scarlet Hollow. I think by the time we did Slay the Princess, we were down to, it was making like $3,000 a month in sales take home, which is very good for an early access visual novel, but it's like, it's hard to pay for two people on that. So Slay the Princess started as a bit of a marketing gambit to be like, well, trying to post our way to more Scarlet Hollow sales is a waste, it's just an inefficient use of time. And we don't want to sign with a publisher to cover expenses while we finish the game.
And of course, that time is time that I was like writing the first draft, which is
Yeah.
time that Tony spends just doing marketing. I forgot what I was saying. I think that was it, though. Of just basically, I was working, but then Tony would have gaps of time before the script was ready.
Yeah, and that was just spent posting and talking to publishers, and it just felt like a waste of time. So
yeah, when instead
why
we
not
could
a
just
second
make
game?
a second game.
And
I
then the
think-
scope of this game expanded
Yeah.
as it got wildly popular.
And I think all said and done, it will have taken us about 7 months, start to finish.
Yeah.
Which isn't
Which
terrible.
I think that's 7 months that we would have had to have spent that whole amount of time through just like, you know, different ways to continue to fund the studio while finishing Scarlet Hollow regardless. So it's a great way to do it. Wahoo says, are there any princesses that we grew more attached to as we kept working on the game? Yeah, many of them. There were a few routes where in the, like, outline phase kind of felt like, oh, what are we going to do here? Is this gonna kind of suck? I'm happy to report that now that the script is done, I think every route is a banger. And there's some in particular that, where I was worried about the Razor, I was worried about the Beast. I think those were the two I was most worried about. And the Razor is probably in my top 3 now, and
I just finished the art for the Beast, and I am extremely
oh
proud
yeah, the
of...
Beast route is
yeah.
very good, very scary.
Yeah, I think that would probably be pretty spooky for a lot of
I
people.
mean, most of them are pretty spooky.
I suppose, but this one in particular definitely has some stuff in it that I think is spooky.
Digital says, I also found Scarlet Hollow through Slay the Princess, which I found through an internet poll.
Yay!
Now, is that one of those Tumblr polls?
Tumblr polls.
We were
that our fans
aggressive about
destroy.
those early on, too. I don't know, Gambit paid off. Grew the fandom.
Yeah, look at that. It worked out for us.
Who was the first princess you came up with, aside from Vanilla Princess, of course? I think that was probably the Fury, right?
Yeah, the early Fury, which became the adversary.
What if we had a tall demon mommy?
Had to have one of
Had
those.
to have one of those. Are there any princesses that you had ideas for, but didn't make it into the game? We've joked about a clown princess. That
Yeah.
one felt sorely lacking. I will say, we don't want to spoil too much about the full game. I will say that a lot of the...
What would go into a clown princess route?
There is essentially a clown route. It's great. It's very scary. It's just lacking in the big red nose.
You cannot honk her nose, but you can try.
Were there any others? I
trying
think
to think.
unfortunately it's like every time I had an idea I was like, Abby, what if we did one more? What if we did one more?
I feel like there's a couple that I've thought about where it's just... There's definitely designs that have not been used.
Yeah, we've cycled through a lot of... Some of the ones in there we've just gone through several designs for. The Beast got redesigned
Thank you,
several
Kel.
times.
Kel
The
likes the
Stranger
animal
got
princess.
redesigned for several times. Kel likes the animal princess.
Good.
That's great.
I think you will like her in the game.
Would there ever be the possibility of crossover content between Scarlet Hollow and Slay the Princess?
Well,
Nah.
I'm thinking. What if it's like they talk about,
Maybe it'll
There's
exist
just a
as an
poster.
Easter egg
Yeah, there's a poster
in someone's
somewhere.
room or
for
something.
the film adaptation of Slay the Princess.
Yeah, they're pretty distinct. I feel like the further we got into Slay the Princess's development, the less room it felt like there would ever be for crossover content there. What text editor do you use for RunPy files? I have Sublime 2, but it feels a little clunky. I use Atom. I think Atom's great.
Oh, Nicole's here. Hi, Nicole.
Oh, hi, Nicole. Oh, and Brandon's here, too. Hi, everyone.
I think the thing with Slay the Princess and Scarlet Hollow's darkness ratings It's going to be tough because you're going to be really connected to the characters in Scarlet Hollow, so it might hit harder what happens to them.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's
the
all
overall
up in the air.
themes are darker in Slay the Princess. I think the fact that death, including your own death, is something so aggressively baked into the narrative means that it's something that we're able to explore more thoroughly. And I think Slay the Princess just has a lot less breathing room than Scarlet Hollow does. Like, it's a little unrelenting in its pacing, whereas... Now, I think the breathing room in Scarlet Hollow is what makes the emotional hits land as hard as they do. But you do have hours of breathing room between each of those beats. But...
Be gone! Aw, that is so sweet, Enrique Page.
Thank you. Some of these people are probably just like, what's so sweet? Because this is, I think, from 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
Did the pandemic impact how you approach the game from a writing or character perspective? Only in terms of workflow.
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
think
have
we
conventions to go to. It was great.
Yeah, it broke me of the habit of going to conventions. So it meant that I had a lot more time to spend at home writing with Tony.
Yeah, we kept bumping the date Scarlet Hollow took place on to make sure it was in a nobody's masking anymore type timeline.
Wait, did we? I think I just gave up on that.
No.
It
We
takes
bumped
place
it a
in
couple
an
times.
AU, or that never happened.
That too. Yeah, it's the no pandemic world. Yeah, World of Horror is finally getting its full release on October 19th, the day before Slay the Princess. So you can get all your jollies out there, and then get your Slay the Princess jollies out the next day. Our PR team also works on World of Horror, so we were able to plan around that a little bit. Yeah, Control. We were playing that on stream for a while. I should finish that at some point. Will there ever be another comic anthology like the Crossroads at Midnight?
Oh yeah, I already have a lot of the stories outlined for the next one. So I've got the theme and everything. I'm very excited about it. But first, I finished Last Halloween. And then I have my next horror anthology. And then maybe we do Game 3.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Game 3 fits in as split Abby's time type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
As
it's hard
if that's
to plan.
ever possible.
Yeah, we'll see.
I almost never do this, like, just back and forth hatching. But with pencil, since it's kind of light, you can do that versus with pen, where you really have to make sure the strokes are distinct. Plus, it's up in a corner. Who's going to look?
How is your experience of the hype surrounding Slay the Princess now versus episodes of Scarlet Hollow? Do you expect Slay the Princess to outperform Scarlet Hollow in sales and popularity?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that within a week, Slay the Princess will have outsold Scarlet Hollow.
Which doesn't make Scarlet Hollow any less our favorite.
No, Scarlet Hollow is sold very, very, very well for an in early access episodic visual novel. Slay the Princess is just wildly popular.
Very unexpected and extremely appreciated.
Speaking of themes, what games, media, whatever, did you take the most thematic inspiration from? Let's see. For Slay the Princess, I think the ones on the list now. There's Stanley Parable, Disco Elysium, there's Soma. Those feel like the big three game influences on the writing in this one. Are you going to return to PAX or any other conventions after Slay the Princess launches? Yeah, we'll probably do some. We'll probably do a PAX next year, and we'll probably do GDC next year. I don't know if we'd do a booth at PAX or if it would just be. It'd be nice to go as guests.
Maybe do a panel.
Yeah, maybe do a panel or something. But then actually get to enjoy that. Not that PAX wasn't enjoyable this year, but like I was obliterated for weeks after that. It was exhausting.
Didn't help that, of course, for the weeks leading up to it, we were working on the second demo, which was a decent amount of work somehow.
Yeah, we could upload this VOD to YouTube later. That makes sense. I love Scarlet Hollow, but most of my friends just won't touch a game that isn't all out yet, which I understand. Yeah, I totally get that too.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Like, I think there's also going to be a huge surge in Scarlet Hollow's sales and popularity. One, after Slay the Princess releases, because we're good at cross-promotion. But two, when it leaves early access. And it's totally understandable that a lot of people would want to wait, but at the same time, it's going to be great to have something that is out. How many wish lists does Slay the Princess have now, and why not allow pre-purchase? I don't know. For wish lists, it's a little under 100,000. For pre-purchase, that's something that you have to set up with Steam. They usually just do that with certain publishers that have well-established track records, and I don't see a need to make people pre-purchase the game.
Yeah.
In general, I think that the direction that the games industry has moved in with pre-purchasing, especially in this past year, where you pay an extra $20 and pay for it early to play it a few days early, is just like, it's aggressive. And we don't want to be that aggressive.
I think I gotta go.
Is your cat doing good?
She's doing pretty good. Actually, she was running around and being strange earlier, but it turns out it's because she had to go to the bathroom, which terrifies her. So.
And, you know, I'm gonna do something wild. Brandon sent us some tracks that he's been working on. I haven't listened to them yet. Let's just play it on stream. Oh no! Brandon, I'm sorry if this is embarrassing for you. Abby, theoretically, after you've gotten all the things lined up, finished, are there any dream projects you'd love to do, working on other mediums, etc.?
More anthologies. I think forever. I have another one kind of cooking on the back burner besides the one that I have planned. So I think I'm probably just going to do that until I get bored of it. I don't really want to move into any other new mediums. I like the ones I have.
I do feel like doing a top-down isometric CRPG would be fun. Like a Disco Elysium type thing. No combat. I do
like the designs of those. They are very lovely. Yeah, no combat ever, but I would like to design one of those, I suppose. I could even do walk animations now. I will have the skills by then, I am sure.
I have to imagine, like, the top-down thing would be less art-intensive than
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, this, I mean, I have to draw every single thing that happens. I
Kinda-
mean, I suppose, like, if anything unique happens, I would still have to make little animations for it, but I've been overshading this. I've just been, like, tuning out.
What?
It's supposed to be dark. I can make it kind of dark. I've been overshading it a little.
But yeah, so, like, that might be something that could be worked on while you're doing one of your anthology books. Like, especially all of the other pieces of it. But we'll see. That's many years away. We have stuff to finish. Was it hard for people to find Scarlet Hollow when it had first come out and you weren't known yet? Sorry if this has been asked, though. Abby had a pretty already well-established audience.
Yeah,
by
shout
the
out
time we went
to
into games.
people who decided to play our games because they liked my work. I appreciate you.
Yep. But it was still an uphill struggle. It's just that we had the incredible advantage of not having to start from nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we knew if we finished episode 1, we could do a Kickstarter, and then that Kickstarter would at least be able to fund episode 2, so we were able to take more risks, we were able to work full-time on it. But I'm gonna send the other thing Brandon sent. I like that. Good job, Brandon. But yeah, no, getting people to play games is hard.
Especially one that isn't finished yet. But soon we'll have a finished one.
Will there ever be another plush campaign for either Scarlet Hollow or Slay the Princess? Yes, I think there is a plush campaign in the works for Scarlet Hollow right now. We're just waiting until episode 5 comes out to drop the campaign. It is the plush that you all think it is. And I don't know if we'll do plushes for Slay the Princess. I feel like plushes of human characters just are very hit or miss in general.
Oh, we could do the chibi one, though.
We could do the chibi one, that's true.
Chibi damsel, that would be really cute. I wouldn't want to touch it, though. I would want, like, somebody else to do all the work. I mean, I guess, like... Anyway, I'm really iffy on plushes in general.
Did you take any steps in particular to research or depict Reese's experience, disability-coded horror, or avoid specific tropes? Might end up doing a video essay on Scarlet Hollow for a grad class I'm in. Lamau.
Whoa, that's so cool!
Did you? I think we generally just always try and treat our characters as human beings.
Yes, with the same respect that I would give anyone. And I like to listen to a lot of people's different experiences. So I suppose that could count. I'm definitely very interested in the way that people live and what difficulties different people have to deal with. And I have fundamental respect for other human beings. So one would hope that I would be able to have that, I guess. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
So, Jesus, Brandon, this is unsettling. Good job.
Oh, fun.
Oh, you're not listening.
No, I'm not listening.
I was wondering why you weren't reacting to the music at all.
I got no headphones in.
Wow, a bunch of people talked about Scarlet Hollow for various classes. That's so cool.
Oh, I gotta go wash my hands. I'm smudging.
Do it. I'll see if maybe there's some more tracks that we can play.
Yeah.
Oh, would you guys have done anything different looking back on starting a game studio or things that you learned from doing a Kickstarter for Scarlet Hollow? I don't know. Like, if we were able to go back in time and start over with everything we know now, we would do things differently, but so much of that is just dependent on the experience that we got from doing things the way we did them.
Yeah.
Hashtag no regrets.
No regrets, except I would make the art better. Maybe I still will. Who knows?
Yeah.
Imagine, Tony, what if I animated the sequence where you have to run through the woods in
No.
episode 1? What if I did that?
No.
I could.
Oh god, no animations where the background
I've gone mad.
is moving.
I could animate the little dudes in the trees.
Oh no, we can't.
Imagine.
We can't revisit it. Like, I think,
I suppose it's effective enough, apparently, so...
yeah, like, Scarlet Hollow episode 1 in particular is in this place where it's gotten a lot of polish over the years, but, like, the way it's structured is the foundation for the rest of the game. And it's like, there's some things about the pacing and the writing and everything that like feels like, well, it's still good, it's not up to our current standards for ourselves, but then one, it's hard to tell how much of that is just whatever it is in a piece of long form media that sets up the foundations for everything else, just by definition feels rougher than the beats that harvest that setup.
Oh, Ethan's here. Hi, Ethan. Hello. That's the guy who gave me nubs. Sorry, I was looking at...
How
What in
has
the
having
chat?
voice actors influenced your development compared to Scarlet Hollow? Lines are finalized at some point.
Yeah, we can't
That's
edit
very
them forever.
stressful. I think there's like...
There's a typo. We used the wrong lay at some point. My mom caught that one because she's a copy editor, and we can't change it because...
There's a flippancy that we can approach some of Scarlet Hollow with, knowing that at any point, if we decide we want to do something a little differently, we can just patch the game. Whereas there's an added weight to every line we write for Slay the Princess, knowing that it's final. How hard is the writing to bring games like these to life? It's hard.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest writing I've ever had to do, but it's incredible exercise. Just like, every time I do it, I feel myself getting better at it, which is really nice.
What are your thoughts on parodies based on your games? Don't monetize them.
Yeah, I'd like to see you try. It's so much work just to make the base game. That's always something with like people who are like, oh, I would like to do something similar to this. And it's like, oh, well, have fun. Good luck. And honestly, I would like to see people try to make something like very complicated. But that's not exactly parodies at that point. That's more inspired by parodies. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. I like the fan art. I
Love
enjoy
fan
seeing the arts on Tumblr. You know, typical stuff applies. Give proper attribution to the original source material. Don't monetize it. All the things that everyone has to say. Fun thing with being a tiny studio is we also have to be most of our legal department. Stressful track. Let's see what else we got. Amanda. What so far has been your favorite path to work on for Slay the Princess, if you have one? Oh, favorite is such a hard word. I think overall my favorite has been The Witch. Can you romance every princess route? This is such a tricky question to answer, and part of it is like your definition of romance.
Yeah, this one isn't going to be very traditional in the like dating game sense of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to feel like one of those, but you can romance them. It might just feel a little different. I was going to answer which one was my favorite to work on, because I'm thinking about it. I think so far, I think it might be between... Okay, well, Tower was interesting. Kind of a challenge, but definitely really fun in like a she's giant kind of way. There's a part in The Beast that I really, really enjoyed that brought me a lot of joy to make. And Damsel was fun because I had to draw Anime Girl, and that was a fun challenge. So they all have their little things, and I can't pick a favorite. They're all my favorite.
I'm betting asking why.
Except Adversary. She has like 1,000 assets because she's Tony's favorite.
The Adversary was the first route that we did. So it was before I got a sense of how to more efficiently write routes.
Yeah, so I had to suffer
There's
for
too
it.
much flexibility in the
so much
Adversary.
flexibility. I had to draw her punchy from so many different directions.
I'm betting asking why The Witch is your favorite would be a spoiler. I can talk to it to some degree. Part of it is just the Opportunist is such a little shit, and he's really fun to write. When's the next Scarlet Hollow AU poster coming out? Probably...
I think we're holding off for a long time on that one.
Or we do it like shortly after Slay the Princess comes out.
To
It's
give
like a
people
Halloween
something.
thing.
Oh, that's sweet. I already have the art for it done.
Yeah,
I think
maybe we do it starting in October, because I also think
after this release, I think.
Oh, because I was thinking if we do like more mini crowdfunds, like obviously we have to do Slay the Princess theme things in the wake of its release. So it's like, when would we do?
Oh, that is true.
I like the AU posters are print on demand. The last AU poster that we have is the best one, so it'll sell.
It is, yeah, it is.
I'll email Jeffrey tomorrow and see if we can get that set up for the start of October. Stella recipe book, when? Have we talked about maybe putting some recipes in the art book?
Now,
when
here's
we do
the
art
issue,
book?
is that a lot of my recipes are recipes I get off the internet, so they're other people's recipes. I don't think I'm allowed to publish those.
But
That's the
you make
biggest
them
issue.
your own
Oh,
at some point, like biscuits.
The biscuits, I always go by the recipe. That's very specific, because they're the best biscuits I've had, and I'm just like, I'm going to just make these biscuits forever, so...
Well, that's an interesting detail.
Yeah, but boiled peanuts, I mean, that's not a recipe. You just make them. So I suppose it is a recipe. But my dad gave me that one. I could give my dad's recipes for things that aren't in the game.
So many unheard tracks on this.
Exclusive.
Sure, fan theories will be on fire.
Watch accidentally in the corner. It's been playing. You're showing what track is playing the whole time.
I have been looking at the screen. Wait, hold on. have you read any Scarlet Hollow or Slay the Princess fanfic? I avoid fanfic.
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read some. That's a smile, by the way. I'm smiling.
I feel like the writing for those games is too personal for me to look at fanfic.
I want to see more stories with my guys in it.
And I want to put my guys in a little museum.
I want to know what people want to do with them. What happens if I give you my dolls? What would you do with them?
For me, it's like seeing fan art, especially like shipping fan art, scratches that itch for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if it runs out, though, and then you want more?
I don't know.
Don't worry, I'm not going to try to convince you to read fan fiction.
Has fan art or community headcanons ever influenced a writing or art direction decision through the working process of either of the games? I don't think so.
No, only bug reports do that. And
Yeah,
that's not.
Like I think the closest thing is I like to monitor fan theory discussion to especially like immediately following a release to see, do people understand the things that we want them to understand with the information that they have? And then if nobody's picking up on things that we wanted to be more obvious, we might, in a patch, rewrite something to make it a little clearer. When are the next charms coming out? Maybe we'll do two campaigns in October. Maybe we'll do a double thing. I don't know.
Yeah, weren't we initially planning on doing a thing where it was like we coupled the charms with the posters at a certain point?
No.
Yeah, we
But
were.
we could.
Yeah, because I remember talking about how we would fit them in the tube. So
Okay.
we've discussed it.
We'll email our.
I think we were going to sell the extras, but there did not ever wind up being extras. I guess we have some of the Wayne Averys. Wayne Avery, if you will.
I can't wait to see the Cheated. What is he like in the intro of Chapter 2? Like, in terms of what we saw for the other Chapter 2 voices. He's... the Cheated is the PogChamp
Yeah, he's a gamer.
of the
he's
voices.
mad.
He's a gamer, and he's mad. Can you bromance any of the princesses, especially the adversary and Razor, aka becoming very good friends and not romantic?
That is where it kind of becomes difficult, doesn't it? This
a
is
line
where, like,
is blurred there.
Yeah, this is where saying something like it's a dating sim gets a little, like, confusing, I think, for people. Of, like, you can, I think, read it either way if you want.
Yeah, I think it's
that's
more about your interpretation
Yeah.
than anything else. No, Brandon, I am not going to play the one track. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, we gotta keep that one under
That one
wraps.
is under wraps until release. And we'll play this one. This one's rad. This one kicks ass.
Wait.
What's something that players were slow to catch on early on? I don't actually remember. I more remember that there were edits than what those edits were.
And every now and then, I remember some things we've fixed for tone, just to help characterization, because the characters were not coming across the way that we wanted.
Oh, yeah, I think the biggest thing was, like, I think, especially now that episode 4 is out and Stella has had enough of her arc, people understand her character and her behavior more, but, like, they were struggling to understand what her deal was in episode 1, and not in, like, a good way.
Yeah,
a lot of people really didn't like Stella because they thought that she was weirdly written and not that she just, like, very, very aggressively is in denial about things that bother her.
Yeah. And even now some people play episode 1 and are just like, wow, Stella is terrible and I hate her. And it's just like, interesting.
Oh yeah, people got way too suspicious of Sybil too quickly. Yeah, we accelerated.
Not that you need to be suspicious of her or anything. That she's a nice old lady. I don't see the problem. She gives you tea, etc.
Oh yeah, there were people who hated Stella.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing some of the messages. Like the one of Abby, I just got back from a book club where we read Crossword at Midnight. We loved it. Thank you. That is so sweet. I'm so glad you liked it. I really liked writing it and drawing it. It was a lot of fun. I love doing short horror. It's where I am the happiest. Except for working on everything else that I do, where I'm also the happiest. They're all my favorite, etc., etc.
Okay.
Being on stream does make some of the tedium of some of these backgrounds easier to manage. Don't have to find something to listen to keep my attention going.
Yeah, some people thought Stella was too pushy in chapter 1, but that was just an accurate thing for her character. I think the thing that people really didn't get was the way she immediately buries her feelings about death.
Yeah. They were just like, what? She just saw a dead body. This doesn't make any sense.
And it's like she acts that way because she instantly buries it and then moves on because she thinks that, like, pretending nothing really happened or, you know.
I think the real issue is, of course, that... Not issue, it's not a problem. But people go in thinking she is kind of a girl next door, every girl character, where she's supposed to be normal. So she's, like, setting the normal for the story. And of course, that is not so. She, too, is a character. I've always found that character in particular to be insufferably boring. Just I'm the normal one, and I'm your friend. And it's like, man, you got nothing going on? Nothing else?
How much will the game cost? Slay the Princess will be $17.99. There will be a supporter pack if you want to give us more money. That comes with the soundtrack. Some HD wallpapers will be updated with a digital copy of the art book when that's done. That'll either be 10 or 15. We haven't settled on that one yet. Sorry if this question is too spoilersy to answer. Tabitha says a lot that she needs to focus on the road, so she doesn't like being on the phone or distracted while driving. Is any part of that because of what happened with Stella's parents, or is it that's just Tabitha?
Yeah, she doesn't
She's
want
a
to
good
talk
driver.
to you.
She's an excellent driver.
Even though the only place she drives is that stretch of road. She knows it well.
What were early versions of characters like Wayne and Tabitha, and how have they changed during production? They've changed very little, I think.
Yeah, Wayne and Tabitha, I think it was just
in the
sketch.
very, very baby draft of episode 1, I think Wayne was never going to show up. Like, he was only going to appear later in the game.
But you have to have a guy like that.
Yeah, you have to have a
show
guy
up early enough. And people know that he is a guy.
I need the path where I say no to Stella's hiking invite and sit quietly at the estate waiting for Tabitha to come home. We've talked about adding that at some point.
Yeah, we've talked about that at length.
We
we're
have
still
a
kinda
plan.
on the fence, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more... I think we finally have a plan to, like, do a good version of that. But...
Yeah, because we've tried before to write kind of a what if you didn't go into town today thing for various episodes, and it's just like... It's so boring.
Yeah,
it's
right,
kind
it's
of
like...
why would I do this when it is in fact not fun?
There have been a lot of
and then
people
we have to get
who-
you back on the story anyway.
Yeah, like, we've seen a lot of frustration at, like, the game making you do the story, especially in earlier episodes, but it's like, you gotta do the story. Just stay at home isn't an interesting decision. Like, what are we gonna do for it? But we do have some ideas for that. I think it's just a question of when Scarlet Hollow is done, are we going to want to continue to work on Scarlet Hollow in any capacity, or are we just going to want to move on to the next projects?
The question about the earlier designs of Reese and why they look like Tabitha, it's because I was not fully leaning into the I am allowed to make him hot and fun for me. Instead, I was just like, well, he's got to be terrible. I don't know why I thought this. I was robbing myself, I think. So I was just, this is, I suppose, a set of characteristics that I find gross, such as being greasy and damp looking. So that's kind of my thought. They both look kind of greasy and damp. So I think that's how that translated.
What character has changed the most in Scarlet Hollow from early drafts?
Avery changed quite a bit.
Avery was such a dweeb before they were a romance option.
Yeah. And then
Like,
once they were a romance
such,
option, they got a coolification beam.
Such a dweeb. Gretchen also changed a ton.
I kind of wish we had gone with the earliest design of
You know, I was
It may have
lacking in
evened
courage.
out. It may have evened out that decision, having her look so decrepit and old.
I was cowardly.
You thought
Gretchen
that dog
should
was
have
ugly.
been the most hideous dog imaginable.
Yeah, save this dog instead of an old man. See if you can bring yourself to do that. You ossified Avery. Yes. Sorry, I'm catching up.
Sure.
Catching up on chat. I agree, everyone. Old Gretchen design was good.
Oh, yeah. Someone's got to have a link to old Gretchen design. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, Sister Lilybug. Characters do have a type. Some of them do. Some of them don't. But Kanika in particular, she is susceptible to hot and powerful builds. Either or a combo. Like, she likes the himbos.
There we go.
So you get bonus points.
God, she was horrible.
Yeah, my favorite is the little rat version in the bottom left corner. That's my favorite. Though the one she's holding is also pretty good. Just like some fur. Some. Does Reese like any type? Reese likes someone who's nice to him.
Yeah.
So if you exist
Reese is easy.
and are nice to him, then he's like, oh my god, I'm in love with you. No one's ever spoken to me ever before.
Like, Reese and Avery are both easy.
Yeah.
They're both like, someone's paying attention to me. Oh my god. I think Stella is probably the hardest character to romance in the game.
Who?
Stella.
Oh.
Stella is
Yeah, she's
so
got a
hard to
complicated,
romance.
like, if you're not focusing on her.
She's very emotionally closed off.
Yeah, with Stella, there's like you gotta do the dance of emotions to try to get through to her. Yeah, if you give Avery a succulent, we should give you a succulent so that you can test Avery. It'd be like, here's a succulent, my friend. I heard you like plants. And they'll be like, thank you. Thank you, Ace of Snakes, for subscribing. She's like, Stella is like kind of easy at first, but then like you can very easily get off of the track if you...
Yeah. Like, if you just spend all of your time with her, she's pretty easy to romance. But if you don't...
Yeah, we've had some people get locked out and be very confused about what happened, and it's like... They did not do the dance of emotions required to unlock her feelings.
Ace of Snakes, thank you for the sub.
Like, if you don't manage to find her in episode 4, that's no good.
Shh, don't talk about spoilers. Abby remains the studio Tom Holland.
I'm so sorry. Oh, you can't trust me to open my mouth.
Is Sybil going to be hard to romance? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. It should be pretty obvious.
Stranger will no longer emote, sorry. That's not I didn't like the emote idea. That was my idea. It was a very fun idea. But the stranger is just so different. What route is this basement for? Who knows?
Who knows? Romances are available on the hardcore run.
In fact, they're probably a little easier overall, at least with characters where the romance is a relationship check, because you can have more traits which help with that. I'm thinking in like 5 or 10 minutes we wrap up stream.
Oh, yeah?
We can go on for like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's fair. I'm almost done with this background.
That's great.
Just a handful of these left. I have, I think, 17 days to finish the rest of the art. Terrifying.
We're fine.
Terrifying.
Aeroptrix says, this question probably gets asked constantly, but does Slay the Princess have multiple chapters, or is it just the prologue chapter and the fruit chapter? I really don't like commenting on the structure of the game, but it is more than just the prologue chapter and the root chapter. I will say that much. A hazy princess in the trailer is the Stranger, but is not the final design of the Stranger.
Yeah,
She went through many iterations.
had to finish her had to finish the trailer before finalizing her design. That was something I was thinking about for her, but we wound up going with something different. She was definitely the one that took a lot of work kind of figuring her out, especially for how early, she was one of the first princesses that we did. She's the one who's changed the most.
Yeah. But,
very happy with where she is now.
Yeah, no, she's in a very, very, very cool place. A high value route to do. Will there be an art? Yeah, we're hoping to do a nice chunky art book for Slay the Princess. I don't know exactly what that'll look like. I'm sure if we do it, there'll be concept art in there too, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I have enough concept art. That one I think has more concept art than I usually do because it's just required so much more iterating on ideas and sketching out what looks best.
Scarlet Hollow, is there a character you loved in theory but not as much when the story developed more, or one you've grown to love even more over time? Yeah, alright, I'm gonna be honest, Oscar has been a huge fucking pain in my ass.
Yeah, he's been
I love the concept of Oscar, but oh my god, he has needlessly complicated everything.
He has so many variables attached to him. I have to write, I think, 8 different scenes for him. I think
there's 12 different versions of Oscar in episode 5.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It makes me want to puke, and it's we
have to make them all sound
into this character who is just pretty tangentially related to things compared to everyone else. He's at the center of two of the crises in the game, but he's not a part of either of them.
Yeah.
I remember when we were writing episode 4, and it was oh, well, we need Oscar's romance locket. I was the one who wrote that. And it was just what the fuck do we do? What relationship do you have with Oscar? Ultimately, his locket became about the fact that you don't have a relationship with each other.
Despite
but you've permanently changed his life.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with kind of the fact that we had to front load his events. The other events had to get shifted, just kind of for the story in general.
I don't remember why.
Yeah, I think the order is important.
I mean, I think part of the issue is...
Oh yeah, we definitely have to barrel over demographic.
We designed... Yeah. We knew we wanted, a diverse set of romance options. So it's one of the first things we did with Scarlet Hollow is we designed, these are the romance options, these are the roles they have in town. And then, Oscar just repeatedly became sure, this is his thing. But it's I feel like he probably would have worked more. I like his romance. I really like where the direction we're taking him for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
but
he
I also
has some
feel
really fun stuff coming. So
I also feel a lot of problems would have been resolved if Oscar was not a romance option.
And you stop checking in with him every day. Because, oh my god, the amount of work. Because it's not just, of course, that we have to write the different permutations. He's in 2 different locations now. His daughter has so many little things attached to her.
His daughter has so many
I love you, Rosalina. I love you very much.
Because of course, in episode 4, there is a further complication that gets introduced for Rosalina, potentially. I think the fans know what that is, but I won't speak further on that.
You said episode 4. You mean episode 5?
No, I mean episode 4. The big decision in episode 4.
I'll
just fucking say it. Rosalina can be without a leg and then no doctor in town.
Whoops. The background is complete.
Sorry. I guess this is a big reveal for the community. I've seen people discuss this at length on the server. That was one of the many factors that went into the tightrope balancing act of designing episode 4's big decision. But then also it was just like, oh fuck, so this adds another degree of variability to Oscarland.
Yeah, I'm the Tom Holland, Tony. Looks like you just did a little reveal of your own.
Oops.
That's okay. It's a fun one. Gives him a little something to chew on.
Also,
I mean, Slay the Princess.
I feel like the only real thing that reveals is your decisions have consequences.
Well, I finished the background. Wet. This place is soggy.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. Means we can chill for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so much a reveal as a statement of fact.
Well, it simply doesn't change my decisions, so. When will you learn? And of course, my decisions are always leave the children, kill the woman. Not the woman in general. I'm just trying to be vague. Yes, just convince everyone to be friends. We'll definitely give you that option for the big finale. Everyone will be so happy.
Yeah,
have a good ending.
we have repeatedly talked in blog posts and on streams about how we love video games that let you use the power of friendship to solve all of your problems.
That's right. Reese is very hungry. He's very thin, if you noticed. He needs food.
New run where Rosalina hates you, part 2. I
Double
like
it
when
down.
you're gonna make her cry.
Gotta have the good ending to the horror game where everybody walks off into the sunset and it's like, I'm so glad we got over all of our issues. Right, everybody? We're all friends. It's all good. Wouldn't that be nice of us to give you? Too bad. Not that I am, of course, mocking people who want everyone to be happy. That's what we want people to feel.
Oh, no, I'm mocking people who want everyone to be happy.
We want people
This
to,
is about misery.
feel like they want people to be happy, but then be heartbroken.
This is like that interview with FromSoft Miyazaki about like the poison swamp and like why do you put this in all of your games? Like, are you some sort of sadist? And he's like, no. I want to suffer. I want the swamp to poison me. Do you not?
This is what I always do with my horror of just like, this would be so bad if it happened to me. Can't stop thinking about it. Time for me to channel this into my art.
All right, shall we?
I think so.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining this impromptu stream. Very sad that I didn't get more Star Rail pulls, but I'll live.
Yeah, thank you all so much for being here.
This has been a nice...
I have
it's been a nice break for me. It's been a nice
I got
continued
some work done,
for
so
Abby.
That's great.
And yeah,
I
as you
hope
can
I
see-
wasn't too weird.
she's able to do the stream was an hour and a half. One background in about an hour and a half for Slay the Princess. I don't know how she does it.
And this is a really detailed one. They don't always have to be like this. I kind of went nuts with it. So, good night,
All right.
everybody. Thank you so much for being here.